So can you just give us an example of a mistake that you've made that you can look back and say, okay, that sucked, or I should not have done that, and I'll learn for next time. So if you could give a word of warning about how to embark on the world of immersive theater in store, what would you say?
I would say to definitely have a previews period. Because you can build this beautiful world and it's great on paper and your designers love it and your team loves it, but it doesn't mean anything until you have people show up who don't know what you're doing and aren't part of it. And so giving yourself that time to actually practice it on other human beings that aren't part of your show, and then a gap to be able to recalibrate and fix the stuff that doesn't work. Yeah, because like it doesn't matter how brilliant we think we are, it doesn't work without the people there to see it. And so I think that's the biggest mistake I've made early on. It's like not giving myself enough time to implement things that I learned, which is just deeply frustrating. It's like you can do previews and you're like, you find out all this stuff and then you just have to watch your show and you're like, I could have fixed this, but we're open now and we can't. We're never going to be able to fix it. Yeah. So
and I think that's actually key for retail as well, right? Because in hospitality, you have soft launches, right? Where you just invite your friends and family and they come and they eat or stay or whatever. And then they give you feedback and you've got a few weeks at least where you can fix those issues. But in retail, you open a store and people are in and that's it. And then to fix things when the store is open is difficult and is expensive and is money that you hadn't budgeted for.
Yep.
So that's definitely a very good point to say, they should adopt what is done in theater and hospitality and have these soft launches before the store opens to the masses.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's not that your idea had a problem. You're just, you've got all this new information you're learning. And so to be able to implement, all the new ideas that you get when you have people come in too, it's really a wasted opportunity if you can't use all of that new information that you get from those first audiences.
Can I just ask you real quickly about the use of space? So you mentioned, a killer space is you've got to work around that. That is the star of the show in some cases, and to it is a character of its own. So, retailers are not. Some of them have really beautiful spaces. Some don't. It's just a brand new build. How can you make a space be fantastic? And I know how long is a piece of string, but what are the key elements you think that we could focus on if we're to design an environment?
If any space can be fixed with lighting and sound, like it really can be unless it has a bad odor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
even the smallest, weirdest spaces, lighting and sound. I think stores usually have a good soundtrack. They don't usually do much with lighting, but really dramatic lighting that alone can make it feel like an experience and feel like you've left your normal life and you've come somewhere really interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you can make it multi-sensory, that's great. So great soundtrack. There's scents that you can buy to spray around that'll, if you want it to seem like you're in the Bahamas or something, but in a really subtle way. You don't want to give people a headache from perfume.
Oh God. Yeah. I will
make it
not be happy to see that go away. The perfume bombers or whoever.
Yeah.
Holy
yeah.
Such bad headaches.
But be bold with lighting design, especially. It's really an undertapped resource that is pretty easy to implement if you have a good lighting designer. It's not that expensive. It costs the same amount as just doing normal light to have really cool light.
It is about going back to the basics, right? But it's also about getting people in who know what they're doing and getting experts in to apply to it.
Yeah, and I think being willing to take a risk and have an identity too. So it's kind of scary, but you're like, okay, if we just have nice warm lights and white walls, sure, that's nice, but you're actually having to take a stand when you've got a stronger design. So I think it makes people nervous, but it's much more memorable.
Yeah. Caroline, any more questions?
This has been so insightful, Erin. I mean, thank you so much. There's so many nuggets in here, so much valuable food for thought. I think that, you know, every retailer should really think about before they open their next store, or before they reopen the existing stores, even to the extent they're all closed now. I think there's an awful lot that people can do to make themselves attractive targets for visits.
I think it's important for us to also remember that it has to be a holistic experience, offline to online. And Erin, how do you, if you think about multi-channel retailers selling in store and online, and knowing that the brand experience needs to be seamless, how have you seen this done well, or how do you make it happen? So you've got the offline experience of the immersive theater, but then you've got the online advertising and communications. And how do you ensure that it's a holistic experience?
Yeah, you have to figure out who is talking to your audience, your customers, and just be consistent. So, you know, we have a character usually that handles the booking and the information. So it's written in a voice. So if someone is sending you information about your directions or what you need, like, it's still got a little bit of a character. So if you can unify that, and if it's not just one person, at least it fits, like, what's the time period that we're in, or what's the attitude? Like, is it supposed to be mysterious? And so, yeah, really unifying your voice. And even if you're just sending an email that has your parking instructions, you know, keep it in the world, keep it in the world that you're in.
It's really great advice. Thank you. Thanks, Erin, so much for joining us. Erin Gilley, and we are looking forward to seeing your show in London this autumn. And Erin, what's the name of the show? You know, or is it
The Slumber Party.
Oh, it's called The Slumber Party.
It's just called the Slumber Party. Yep.
Okay.
It does what it says on the tin.
We have to get our PJs, and we got to buy them.
We'll book our tickets as soon as we can. Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. It's lovely to chat with you both.
See you soon.
See you.
Thanks a lot, Erin. See you soon.